friends, thanks for joining me. Today I am working with the gorgeous March kits from Hip Kit Club, and I am actually going to be working on a layout for this week's challenge, which is a mood board. And the mood board has lots of beautiful colours, definitely rainbow, but in particular I was inspired by umbrellas. And there was also some cherry blossom on the mood board, so hence my photos of my daughter in the cherry blossom. So I have it in my mind to use a circular design. It did take me a while to come up with a design. Sometimes I get a bit stuck with mood boards, so it's a proper challenge for me. And I'm going to use one of the Shimmerz from the March colour kit, and this one's called Sunny. So it's a beautiful bright yellow colour. And with Shimmerz, I don't know if you saw me there, but I just used a little stirring stick just to mix up the mica powders in the liquid. And then I think the other one is an Inklings, which is a solid colour. And that was back from a colour kit last year. I think that was November's kit, which comes out kind of a deeper pink colour. So I shall be using the two colours then, because I just love pink and yellow for spring. So I'm going with my favourites. So as you can see, I am just spreading some of that ink onto some old cellophane packaging. It's my preferred method to lay down some of the ink. If you're not used to using some of the Shimmerz, I would say the traditional Shimmerz that are more liquid are definitely you need to be more careful with, because the colours are more intense, and maybe they don't move as easily. I haven't used gesso, for example, so I'm not really keen on gesso on my backgrounds, so I go without. So I find the Shimmerz a little bit more work, whereas the Inklings, which are more water-based, I find those a doddle to just move about my page. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to back my cut file. So this is a cut file from February. It's one I designed for Hip Kit Club. This one is just a simple umbrella, and there's another one that has some flowers poking out the top. And I'm going to use some of the papers from the Pocket Life kit. So we have the 6x8 paper pad in that kit this month, and I adore it because the pattern's very small, so it's ideal for backing a cut file. I don't often do cut files that need backing, do I? I don't know. I know lots of people find them therapeutic, so I think it's just because I have to get out my silhouette and so on. I find them a lot of work. So one thing I do know, and there's probably better techniques than mine, is when I cut out the backing papers, you just need to be careful with the first piece, because the second and subsequent pieces can overlap the previous one. I did notice a friend being very careful with all the pieces when she was backing a file recently. And I mentioned that you don't really need to be quite so fussy on the other pieces, because as you look, I've loaded my umbrella from the right to the left. So the pieces on the left are going to overlap the ones that are already in place. So you only need to be careful with one edge. So that was my top tip. You probably know this already though, it's just me. So I am backing my photos onto some of the papers. So we've got kind of three collections in the kit this month. We have some of the Pink Fresh Life Right Now, which is beautiful as always, pastel colours, bold geometric designs. Then we have the Simple Stories Full Bloom, which is definitely spring and very happy. And then Kim and Kimberly then have designed some exclusives. So what a fantastic combination is all I can say. And it just makes me feel so lucky to be part of the club. So that's how I had it in my mind, that the umbrella is going to poke out the side of my circle there. And I've done my usual, and my photos will cover up my ink. So I'm just going to go back and add some more. Same as before then, just a bit on the packaging. and then just build up some of that colour. I tend to use a big round paintbrush just to apply the ink where I want it to go, just because I'm a bit of a control freak maybe. Maybe not, I don't know. So anyhow, I've stuck my circle down and I had stitched around the edge in a nice yellow cotton. And then I'm going to have a little trail going across my page there, which I've penciled in. That bendy ruler is great actually, because I think you use it for drawing. I got it from a stationery store a long time ago, but it's good for just creating a nice wave. And then I added my own loop in the middle there. And I'm just using a pokey tool then just to poke out all the holes. Not rocket science really. And just make sure you get rid of your pencil lines at this point before you do your sewing. And then when I do the sewing, I'll just use some yellow thread, and then I'll just do a running stitch, as you can see there. It did take me a lot longer than that actually took on camera. I'm very slow at sewing, I think. But I love how that turns out, because it kind of draws the eye across the page, I'll put a butterfly at the end. But it kind of gives it that bit of energy, a bit of structure to the bottom half of the layout, which I adore. So I've used a sticker from the Full Bloom collection, which came with the Pocket Live kit. And because it's quite thin and I want to layer up the leaves, the wings, I've just put it onto cardstock and then fussy cut that out, just so it's a little bit more substantial. So I will be placing some clusters just below my photo on the bottom left there, and then on the opposite corner above my photo in the top right. And I shall be using some of those gorgeous flowers that we've got in the embellishment kit from Pink Fresh. They're so pretty, the colours are just delightful. There are pinks, mints, lilacs, which is not my best colour, but together they just look amazing. So it's kind of winning me over, that whole lilac thing going on. A bit of a standing joke with my friends because they know I'm not a purple and lilac person, but then I'm using more and more of it. It's that side of my age, I'm not sure. So I've tucked in one of the little, I think it's a foam sticker, and that's from the main kits, I believe. I've chopped up my stickers, so naughty me. I wrote on the packaging to say which kit it came from, and then chopped up my stickers so it was easier to place on my layout and test things out. So as you can see there, it's my favourite thing. I absolutely love those titles. They're so pretty. And generally, I mean, that's more or less it. So it's just time to embellish now. So I shall go nuts with all the little bits and pieces that we get in the kits. Absolutely adoring this kit. It's just so me, I think. Pretty little things and, you know, bits and pieces to work with. Really enjoying it. I love these brads. These are in the embellishment kit. So do you remember the old days we had to poke your brads through your paper and then have that thing sticking out the back, and then, you know, catch on your layouts? Genius idea, just to make them look like brads but make them sticky. I mean, well done, Simple Stories. Thank you so much, because I absolutely love them. And I think I'm just having a moment here trying to decide on all the stickers, reading all the journaling pieces. So I'm just going to add a little piece, as I like to do, above my photo. So this photo is from a few years ago. It's back in 2014. So my daughter's only young and very pliable at that age, posing for photographs. So I did a little photo shoot with some friends in the spring. So there's loads of cherry blossom around. So I've got quite a few different photos from that day. But one of my favourite photo shoots, really. It was brilliant. So now I've done all that, I've decided I need some splatters. So once again, Morag, I could have done this before sticking down. So as you can see, I'm just going to mask off then with a paper towel. And one of my favourite things to do with, if I'm using a little bit of mixed media, is to go back under my embellishments, my die cuts, and then just add a little blended colour. The reason why I do this is because it almost gives it a little bit of shading, a little bit of depth. So I tend to use a darker colour. So if you don't have a dark colour, then I would, as in this case, use a little bit less water or go back over it a few times just to build up that intensity. So I don't want it dark, but equally I do want to create some shadow. And then I might just use a little bit just to make it look like it's dripping down. Now, if you're a mixed media expert, like lots of my colleagues are on the team, they'll have done this before all of the embellishments went on expertly. But for me, it gives me a lot of control and I just find it a lot easier. So if you're worried about using some mixed media, you could give it a try because you and I are probably in the same boat. I love the mixed media effect, but I have so many abandoned bits of card where I hated it. And Julie, who's my friend, she tells me you've just got to get on with it and just keep going and it'll get better. But I have to confess, I have quite a few pieces of white card that have started, which I absolutely hate. So I tend to go this way just because I can go little by little and then stop when it gets too chaotic for me. So I think that is going to wrap it up. I have the close-ups at the end. I've really thoroughly enjoyed using this, so hopefully you are inspired by this month's mood board, or this week's mood board I should say. You could join in the fun on the Hip Kit Club group. There's $10 to spend in the shop for the lucky winner. So, and I'd love to see what you do, and it would be a delight to share your layouts with us, and we'll leave you some love. So I will see you on the next video, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye now.